let's get down to the battleground states. Um, um, let's start with Arizona. Okay. We heard a lot about this on Sunday night. Currently, Trump is up 1.1 points on the Real Clear Politics average, 48.4 to Harris's 47.3. And so Trafalgar has him just out with +2. The New York Times had him +7. +5. Siena had him up 2. This is a great trend. And if you look at the voter registration trend, we've been talking about this, all these counties are great. Our Seth Keshel, who has a great Substack newsletter, talks about voter reg trends. And he wrote, we talked about this Sunday night, that you will see all 15 counties are either more Republican in party registration than they were in 2020 or less Democrat. 2 counties, both of which ironically have a long history of voting Republican in federal elections, Navajo and Yuma, formally flipped into GOP registration advantage, largely on the strength of Latino and Native American party switcher. That's what I think is fascinating, right? It's not an increase in whites or professionals. It's the Native American and Latinos where we're seeing the shift. And we heard about this the other night on the Sunday Live program, that, this is what's driving this, the Latino population. The registration is moving in all of these directions. Republicans now have a 3-point registration advantage. They did back then, and now it's 6%. These first-time voters should end up with Trump. So I feel good about this. And nothing in Arizona is giving me worry. But they do have abortion on the ballot in Arizona. That is a bit of a concern. They're trying to get their folks ginned up and turned out. So keep that in mind. And abortion, according to a story that just came out this week, has passed inflation as the top issue for women under 30, according to a brand new survey. So I believe Democrats are doing everything they can. You heard Trump, if you listen to him during that economic speech that he gave in Chicago yesterday, saying he thinks that they're going to give up on Arizona. I wouldn't be so sure of that just yet, but I will tell you that I hear a lot of positive things coming out of Arizona on behalf of their team. And look, Trump has never trailed in the Real Clear Politics average. That's a positive thing for Trump. So let's put those electoral votes in the Trump column. 11 electoral votes in the Trump column, and we'll go there. Hey, homeowners, what do you do to protect your house? Do you have cameras or a security system like I do? Because you want to protect the contents of your house, right? But scammers have a new crime that the FBI is calling home stealing. It's when they transfer the title of your house into their name and then take loans out on your behalf that you're on the hook for. They are literally stealing your house as you sit in it. They are transferring your deed into their name by filling out a quick claim deed. It's very easy to do, in fact. All you have to do is go online. I live in Virginia. They'll add your address and even a fake version of your signature. Then they'll stamp a document with a fake notary seal, and you can get these right on Amazon. They'll send it to the county clerk, who won't think twice about approving it because it looks legit. Surprise, by the way, the government isn't doing anything to help you, but my sponsor, Home Title Lock, will. All you have to do is enter your address to get a complete title scan. Use my promo code SPICER for a free 30-day trial to see if you're a victim. So please check out Home Title Lock. Go to www.tryhtl.com/SPICER. Use promo code SPICER to protect yourself and your home. All right, I'm going to move to Georgia. Early vote starts this week in Georgia. It started yesterday. I'm not sure. Look, one day of early vote does not scare me. But let me just walk you through this. The early vote in mail on day one, 328,611 people cast their ballot yesterday. That is a record by a lot for the first day of early voting. According to the people who break this all down, there were 98,000 ballots. Black, white voters were 189,015. I don't know how they figured that out. But someone told me that that demographic is beneficial to some degree. When you look at the counties, DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett, 103 came out of there, but 203,000 came out of mostly rural counties. So, which is a lot more than they normally get. I wish I could say I knew more about, like, everyone's trying to read the tea leaves and tell you what this means. It's, obviously you can't look at someone's ballot. Well, legally. I'm kidding. And so I don't know what to make. Democrats love to vote early. Republicans are making a big push, and at some point it's going to come through. So you've got to figure out. But this is a big number for day one. I would love to see the gender breakdown because, and also remember, if you're banking what we call high propensity voters, somebody who votes 4 out of 4 times, that's fine because they would have voted anyway. There's a lot more that matters, and we'll get more data. By the time we do this again in a week, we'll know a lot more about early vote than we do. So keep an eye on this. Brian Kemp, the governor, by the way, announcing his whole team is all in to help Trump. This is a big deal, by the way, I think, because the Kemp machine, he needs a victory. Brian Kemp, even if it's the most selfish reasons, he wants to deliver Georgia for Trump for his own personal reasons. That's a positive thing, guys. We want him to get a victory. I mean, if he can put Trump over the top, that's great. It shows that his machine. So he's got the machine out there doing everything he can. Keep that in mind, though. I feel good about that for those reasons. All right. So I'm putting Georgia in the red column. I feel good about it. But actually, let's do this. I want to put it in the light red just because that early vote number does give me some pause. I'm sorry to shift this up. It's still red, but I want to see another week of data. When we gather back here in a week, I want to know where we are in terms of the early vote and how much more data we can glean. It does give me a little bit of concern because it's that high. So I'm kind of like the doctor that's saying, let's just monitor this, and then you come back in a week. Let's move over to North Carolina. 16 electoral votes there. Trump's got a 1.4 Real Clear Politics polling average. Last couple polls, up 5, up 2, up 1. Look at that trend. Harris has not led in anything in forever. I mean, the last poll that I have her is mid-September. Everything else is Trump, 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 tie. And it kind of, the trend went away from her. Haley was telling us the other day, be careful of new public polling because people aren't answering their phones. This is where I think the storm is the X factor. All factors being, everything else, Trump wins North Carolina. I'm going to shade this light red because of the storm. I'm concerned about it. So just keep an eye on that. And we've had a lot of people move in during COVID since the last election. We're going to have to start to see that. All right, we move on to Nevada. I was very, very excited on the Sunday Night Live to hear about what's going on in Nevada, the registration movement, how this is happening, what they've done since COVID. Trump's up 5 for the first time that I remember him being up, and it's slowly started to move his way. We heard about the ground game here. You remember the last time I started to shade this blue. I'm willing to shade this. I'm going back to, let's do this. I went blue last time. I'll move it to toss up for now, right? We'll keep this as a toss up, the 6 electoral votes, only because I had it blue last time. I'm trying to get it to red, okay? I think it's trending that way, but we got a little time, and like anything else, let's let it move over to red slowly. It's 6 electoral votes, right? So even if we awarded him to Trump right now, he'd still be too short. So let's not freak out about this. All right, so I'm doing that. By the way, that race in the Senate, Jackie Rosen is still up 7 points, 49.6 to 42.6 over Sam Brown there on that Senate race. So keep that in mind. All right, let's move to our blue wall states. Wisconsin is next up. I have Harris. This is literally a jump ball. Harris is up 0.3. Okay, the last 3 were polls were literally dead even ties. Then Trump was up 2, her up 2. It's tightening. It's very tough to poll. As I mentioned, Eric Hovde is going to be here on Friday. I'm going to get his take on where the race stands, where the momentum is, how the ground game is. You're not going to want to miss this because Wisconsin could be crucial, right? Look at this. You pop that into the Trump column, we got to win right off. Boom. So you're going to want to hear that conversation on Friday. You heard on Sunday that absentee ballot requests are not coming in at what levels that they were last time. That is a good thing for us, okay? Don't mistake that. That is good because Dems tend to vote a lot more early. And so if you're not seeing the ballot requests, never mind the returns, that's good for us. There's a Senate race there. Baldwin is still up over Hovde 49-46, but it's moving in the right direction. And she's telling donors that she's scared. Again, tune into that conversation with Eric Hovde on Friday. Let's get to Michigan's 15 electoral votes. Trump is up 0.9 here. This is 48.5 to Harris at 47.6. But look at the trend. The public polling continues to go in Trump's direction. It is amazing. The trend is great. We heard about the Get Out the Vote effort. America First Works talking about having Muslim-speaking door knockers in the state since June. We talked about this the other day. Harris, there's an AARP poll that just came out, found her tied with Trump there. And this is what they write in Politico. Her struggles in the state stem partly from weakness with black voters in Detroit, where they report that local Democrats think the campaign is lacking. Okay. Plus, the Michigan Firefighters Union skips endorsing her, and another blow to Harris, according to Politico. The Harris campaigns were hoping that they would back her after the largest IAFF, that was the Firefighters' big association, snubbed her earlier this year. We've read about what's going on. The Arab American PAC, for the first time in 2 decades, not endorsing anybody. That's a big deal. I feel very good about this. Slotkin is up by 2.3% over former Congressman Mike Rogers, but I like where this is trending. I feel good about Michigan, so I'm going to put both Michigan and Wisconsin in the light red column just because I like the way they're trending. We'll get an update from Eric Hovde on Friday. And then last, all things come down to Pennsylvania. You heard about everything that's going on Sunday night. That Butler rally was great. Trump right now, a slight edge. 0.2%. This is all of the marbles, but look at where we are. Let's put Pennsylvania in the Trump column right now because they're freaking out. There's a story out literally this morning from the Harris campaign quoting on the record sources. They're infighting. They're saying she's not doing enough to get out the vote in Philadelphia. If you're this freaked out 19 days out in Pennsylvania, that's not a good thing. She's upset so many people. She's not Joe. Right? I mean, think about it. Joe was Scranton Joe. He had a connection. He visited there like 5 times a week. And she doesn't come there as much. She spent a lot of time in Western PA, ironically. But I'm telling you, Pennsylvania, I think, is a problem. Let's look at the map where we are now. I mean, with the exception of Nevada, right? Look at where Trump is. We pull that back out for just a sec. I want to show you, this is good news for Trump. We're back at 306. This is where I said it was. Take a look, by the way, at the Daily Mail. I want to put this on. Put Nevada in the Trump column, and then look at what the Daily Mail said. It's picture perfect to what we laid out, right? They're actually looking and coming up with the same that we are, 312, 326. The beautiful thing about the map that I have laid out right now, Trump wins 312, 226. But you can take any one of those states off the board from Trump. You can probably take 2. He still is over 270. This is good news for Donald Trump. Heading into the final 19 days, Trump has a solid win. A lot's moving on the board, a lot of moving parts. Early voting started. We're going to have an update next week to show you the latest polling, the trends, the early vote, where things have moved. So don't miss out. Always hit that notification button and that subscription button, which is why you'll know where the race stands in the final days. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.